Good morning, Year 9. Today we're going to start looking at the required practical, which is for density. Now, in this required practical, there are three things that we have to be able to do. We have to be able to investigate the density of a regular solid, an irregular solid, and a liquid. And we're going to start today by looking at the skills needed to investigate the density of a regular solid. Alright, so the first question is which of these is likely to be the most dense and why? Try and pause the PowerPoint and see if you can work out which one it is. Now, hopefully you've got the idea that solids are going to be more dense because the particles are more closely packed together. So one of the things we need to be able to do is explain density using the particle model. Okay, so what is density? Density is how heavy something is for its volume. So if we want to compare different materials' density, we need to make sure that we are always comparing them for the same amount of material. If you think about feathers and lead, a ton of feathers and a ton of lead is going to weigh the same amount. They have the same mass, but they would obviously have very different volumes, and therefore their density would be different. Okay, so density is calculated by doing mass divided by volume. So mass should be measured in kilograms. You might get it in grams, but kilograms or grams. Look to see what they're asking you to do in the question. Volume can be measured in meters cubed or centimeters cubed or even millimeters cubed. Now you can get a milliliter, alright, and litres. So on the sides of measuring cylinders it often says millilitres. Now, a milliliter is the same size, same volume as a centimetre cubed, but we do not want to use it. So don't use that unit because people tend to get very mixed up with millilitres and centimetres cubed, and they start having millilitres cubed, which is a completely made up thing. So you need to be using centimetres cubed or metres cubed most of the time. Now, because you're doing mass divided by volume, that means the unit for density is going to be either kilograms per meters cubed, or it could be kilograms per centimeters cubed. It could be grams per centimeters cubed. All right? Sometimes you will see kilograms and then it will say meters to the -3. That is the same as writing this. The -3 means the same as that slash line, just to give you a warning if you see those things.
Okay, that was a really good introduction by Mrs. Ritchie. So over to me now with your task for today. So your written task for today is to practice calculating volumes. So there's two questions here where I'd like you to spend about 15 minutes doing this to see how confident you are in answering these questions. Notice if you're working out the volume of an object, you have to find the area first of all. So this one, you'd find the area is written for you, and then you would obviously multiply that by the depth there to give you your answer. Okay, that's the same with all of these. But these questions are slightly more difficult because you have to actually calculate the area. So you'd have to calculate the area of a rectangle, which hopefully you've done in maths, and then multiply it by the depth in order to work out the volume. Okay. So you'd have to remember how to calculate the area of a triangle. So you might have to look at some of these things in your maths notes as well, just so that you can calculate these. So I'd like you to stop the video. I'd like you to have a go at answering as many of these as you can in 15 minutes, and then I'd like you to check your answers on the next slide. Okay, so here are your answers. You just need to make sure, the only thing that I haven't added here is the units. So the answer, the units for these up here, that would be centimetres cubed. This obviously, because it's in millimetres, it's going to be millimetres cubed. Ooh. This one is going to be metres cubed. And again, this is centimetres cubed. All right, so you have to have a look to check what your unit's going to be. All right, so that's going to be centimetres cubed, metres cubed, millimetres cubed, centimetres cubed, etc. Okay, so just make sure that you can do, mark your answers, and then I would like you to let me know how many you got correct. All right, so you can either send me in the answers or you can give me a total number, and I'd like you to rag rate how confident you are in calculating volume of shapes. Okay, so this slide is for those of you who want to do the extension work. So if you found the other tasks very easy, then this is a little bit of an extension. And I know that you do this sort of thing in maths. So this is composite prisms that you're calculating. So in this situation, what you have to do is calculate the area, if you like, of that bit first, which is a rectangle, and then add that to the area of that rectangle there, and then you would multiply it by the depth as you did in the previous question. So this is a little bit more tricky, which is why it's an extension task. Okay, here are your answers to those extension tasks. Again, you just need to make sure that you include the unit in each case. So this one is going to be millimetres cubed. Okay, this one will be centimetres cubed. 96 centimetres cubed, and this one here is going to be metres cubed. Remember that it's always cubed because we're talking about a volume, we're not talking about an area. So it's not going to be squared, it's going to be cubed. Okay? Again, please let me know how you got on with these. That'd be great. Thank you.